I reckon I've got 3 or 4 boards in my garage that would have been much, much better suited than the new board that I've got.
But you
But
couldn't help yourself.
I had to take the new board.
Welcome to the Insiders Audio Noughts 2026. It's got a certain ring to it, hasn't it, Matt?
Does feel like it's going to be might be blind optimism, but I feel like it's going to be a big positive year. So we'll see what happens.
There's nothing like a big positive year. I've just had the last 2 days surfing a perfect little bank that I found here. And today I surfed it by myself. I'm not going to say this was all time, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't do it every day, but I timed it like as perfect as you can get because we got a micro swell. We got 0.4 meters at 13 seconds. So there was a set every 15 minutes and there was like two waves in the set. It was hard to pick which one to catch. And if you picked the wrong one, you had to wait another 15 minutes. So I got 4 or 5 waves, and then the last one I got was a good one with a nice carve and a really good fast trim, a little bit about waist high on the fantastic acid. And I just did the fatal error of one more because when I first
Mhm.
got out there, I was having a little bit of an existential crisis because I'm fucking telling you, it's freezing.
It
Like,
is cold.
it was 2 degrees, stiff offshore. It was the only day I put gloves on, but I had gloves on. It was cold. And I was just sitting there, and I'm sure you've had this, Matt. I'm sure anyone north of where I am has had this, where you just think, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know you're dedicated and that's what you got to do. But if you're just sitting there freezing and nothing's happening, it kind of doesn't feel worth it. And then luckily I had that half an hour where things happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last before yesterday, I had 3 days in a row where the forecast was saying 2 foot, but offshore clean, and the weather was good. Like the wind it had disappeared. It's kind of back now, but the wind had disappeared. It was like slight offshore, and it was. I mean, the first day was waist high, and I done something funny actually, which ties in with this because so it was the first day that I've wore mitts this year. I was wearing mitts rather than gloves, and absolutely hated every second of it. I hate wearing them. They definitely take adjusting to and some time, um, but were needed. And then I had a bit of a disaster. I left them in the car park, drove off, and it was a 15-20 minute drive. Realised afterwards that I'd left them there. But what I done was that was on Monday, and on Saturday beforehand, I'd got a brand new board. And
Did you go back and get your mitts?
no,
They're gone.
they're gone.
We've
I
all
had two
done it. I've
pairs.
done it. I've done it
Yeah,
with a
I was like,
surfboard.
but yeah, the Saturday before got a new surfboard, and the waves that I went and surfed, I reckon I've got 3 or 4 boards in my garage that would have been much, much better suited than the new board that I've got.
But you
But
couldn't help yourself.
I had to take the new board. Um, but then the next day was slightly bigger and cleaner and a little bit more consistent, and I had a really, really good surf on my new board. And yeah, it was very, very fun. But that first day, I definitely had that feeling of like, what am I doing? Kind of, this is cold. I'm wearing mitts, and like you're popping up on a wave that's not even waist high, and you're trying to surf it, and you're going slowly and stuff. It's just like it's not good.
Blowing it. Yeah, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like today, like the last couple of days, I've been able to surf this little fit, my new 6'6" deep swallow fish, which is going insane. Like it literally has immediately become my favorite board in my quiver, and it surfed really well. Like I don't know when we last spoke, but I had waves as good as they get on Monday. What are we? Friday?
Yeah, with Friday, yeah.
Monday I had as good as it gets, like waves that even a donkey could surf well. And I ended up surfing this bank the whole week, and it was fantastic. And then today I saw it was small, but when you're looking on the webcam, you can it always makes it either look a bit smaller or a bit bigger. And so I took my mini mail, which I wouldn't have survived without it. But tomorrow I think it's the same, and I don't think I'm going to go, even though. It looks like we're about to have 2 weeks where we're out of the water. And I know I've got friends back home on the sunny coast who are just desperate for some swell. So everywhere in the world, nowhere's perfect, but ball-tearingly freezing and small is a hard ask.
What wetsuit was you in?
I was in my today, I pulled out yesterday for the first time the 5.3 Vissla U-Zip, which is a great suit, but it's a heavy thinger. And I switched back today to the Patagonia 4.5, 3.5 integrated hood.
Right,
Now
yeah.
I swear that I think that's one of the best weddies I've got because it's a little bit thicker than a four. It's kind of
Yeah.
magic. It's a little bit thicker than a 4.3 and not so bulky as a 5.43. Oh, it's a great suit and it's warm. Like I told you I did have the 5.43. I'm gonna have to throw Quicksilver under a bus. 5.43 integrated hood high line the other year, and the knees were wrong. Like the padded smooth part of the knee was around on the side of my knee.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So on my duck dive knee, my right, I wore through the neoprene in maybe 6 or 7 surfs. And then last year I surfed in one and water was leaking in there. So I've either got to get it fixed, which I will because it's such a good suit. It's loose, but just just silly just silly stuff that can kill a brand. That's probably why they weren't in the top.
Yeah.
They didn't even figure on
No.
that
That's,
stab wetsuit thing.
that's probably why they've had to do big changes like bringing in the Preem Loft. I mean, their new suits,
They do have good suits, man. I've
the
always
ones
had
I've got,
good suits with them.
yeah, the ones I got this year are like the marathon session that I got this year is one of my favorite suits that I've worn. But yeah, you definitely need them to be right for sure. Because
Hey, so question, I've never used an O'Neill. Are they as good as what people say?
no,
You've never used one or they're not as good?
I've used one and they're overhyped. They the reason why they win all of the polls is because they are a solid 7 out of 10 every time. Like it's a safe wetsuit. Um, I don't like they fit me really. If you're a tall person, they fit you really bad, in my opinion. And there's not really anything special about them, but for someone who's like if you're 5'10" and you're a medium build and you want a suit that's like gonna fit good and be like a 7 out of 10, it will do the job. Then the Hyper Freak, which is the reason they get voted it is based on the Hyper Freak, um, is a really good suit. But if you're if you're in a more privileged position, because the other thing as well is these people voting, they're voting for O'Neill because they've got an O'Neill, not because they've had the opportunity to try loads and loads. I'm in a really fortunate position where I literally like 2 months ago got to test 11 different wetsuits in the space of a month. And it wasn't just a one surf, one and done. Like I tried them a few times.
So which
And
was the best one?
my personal favorite, I would say, is XL. Or
They've always had good rep, haven't they?
yeah,
Never tried
or
one.
the new marathon sessions was the most surprisingly really good. Rip curl the Rip Curl Flash Bomb Pro, incredible because they've basically put really flexible shoulders in it and then really
S-
warm.
So important.
Yeah.
Because your shoulders, you're always moving, punters, who,
Yeah.
if you're listening. Shoulders, you seem to be always moving. They stay pretty warm. It's really your thighs, I've noticed, and your bum area where you're sitting around and you've got to sit on the board so water's going to seep in there.
Yeah.
And also your back
You're
if
back,
you're facing
definitely.
away from the offshore wind. So
Yeah. So Rip Curl was really good. They came up really good. Um, the the Hurley suit that I used was good. I would say it's a good European suit. It wasn't warm enough for England, but it was a 4 mil. Um, and I reckon if you were in Portugal or France or something, that's a solid suit. Like that, I'd say that's on par with O'Neill. But O'Neill were just up there, 7 out of 10. That's why they win all of those things. UK brand
you
Seaskins.
gotta you gotta respect the punter though. Like
Yeah, of course,
you put
$100%.
it's an investment. Now you gotta like as you get older, punters, um, you just got to keep buying your wetties, and as soon as you've got a couple, you've built up your wetty quiver, you've got to go immediately into rotating. Don't use the same wetty so much. If it's
Yeah.
warm, maybe use one of your wetties that's like a little bit older. As soon as it gets colder, always have your newest, best one for when it's cold. There's a whole lot of tactics, you know. Always make sure every single time you wash them. Oh, it's a
I would say as well,
anyway.
the Billabong wetsuit that I used was very, very good as well. Very, very, very
Yeah, I
flexible.
was going to say that, hey, because they got really high in the rating, which is interesting because they're a board short company and they've often had a really good rap for that. I wonder why Quickie didn't get that out of the big four brands. You know what I mean? Quickie, Rip Curl, that sort of stuff. But
Mm.
while we're on the name Rip Curl, uh,
Yeah,
while we're on that name, Matt,
big
tell
news.
me what's happening in the world with Rip Curl. What
Fuck.
happened?
Well, one of their big heads of Mount Rushmore just fell off.
Gabriel Medina parting ways. Super interesting.
Mm.
I dissected it by reading a lot of comments, thinking about it, and everything. I can understand from Ripco's point of view that mate, you know who knows? I've got absolute no idea. Let's say that the money wasn't enough for him, which would be the obvious reason. From Ripco's point of view, I don't know for them if spending too much money helps. Like when I think of Gabriel Medina, I don't instantly think Rip Curl anymore, as opposed to a lot of surfers can be synonymous with a brand or need the brand or the brand needs them. I just think Gabriel moved into a stratosphere that was bigger than surfing a surfing brand potentially.
Yeah, I do agree that you don't necessarily. I don't know, like I'm trying to, because it's hard as well trying to think about it when we're in a position where we do consume everything and we are in the industry, and like part of my job is assets and marketing assets and looking at photos and stuff, and obviously heavy part of Ripco's media packages that I see are based around Medina and stuff, and obviously of course they are, but you wouldn't
Well,
say.
here's my
You
question
wouldn't
to you then, Matt.
necessarily. Well, my thing with it, just quickly, was you wouldn't necessarily say he fits the brand. Where like Ripco recently, I'd say over the last year, have really been pushing like the search. Searching for waves, going on trips with mates, and blah blah blah. Well, you wouldn't necessarily. You don't see much. There's obviously that one, the Crangs edit where Gabby's
Yeah,
with Nick and
that was
Mason.
kind of like the only one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I can see why he doesn't really fit with Ripco's kind of pathway. But sorry, you was going to ask a question.
Well, this is my point for a Rip Curl senior marketing um, executive. Is it more important to make sure you've locked down Tia Schabowski and Lucas Skinner for the next 10 years or Gabrielle?
100% Gabriel. If that's your question, it's 100% Gabriel Medina. He's only 32. he is like not being
I
funny.
don't,
Like, no disrespect to
I don't know.
Lucas.
I don't know.
I don't think Lucas should be the name there. And no disrespect to Lucas, but the name you should have said is Tier Zabrowski and Dane Henry. Dane
Is
Henry,
Dane, who's Dane Henry? Is he Rip Curl too?
Ripco, yeah,
Well, there you go. See, they've got this. This is my thing. Gabrielle hasn't done anything in the last 3 years apart from being a superstar internet. He won his three world titles. He was with them for 17 years. In 5 years' time, T is only 19. Lucas will be how old? 22, 23.
yeah, same as Dane.
Same with Dane. Same with Dane. Where he's going to be 37, 38, and he's an influencer. It's just putting a lot of money into someone where they're kind of a core brand, always have. They're a little bit more core than I thought what Billabong. They're all
I think the way
no,
I see it is
I can't say they're core. They're still a big company, but I don't know. This is what I think. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for them that he left, even though I think it was kind of a shock. But I just don't see it as the worst thing in the world for Rip Curl.
I would agree with you. I think the way I see it is if Ripco could have chose, they would this 100% Medina stays with Ripco. They want Gabriel Medina in a Ripco wetsuit, but there is a it's not we want you in a Ripco wetsuit no matter what the price is. It is
That's
okay.
it.
And I wonder if it's more to do with the length of a contract that than a figure where like they might say right like they've done with Steph, they might say we want to lock you down for 5 years and this much per year, and he might not want to do that because there's obligations that obviously come with that, and he might be like, do you know what? I'm on my own. I want to do my own thing now. Like he's got 14 million Instagram followers or something crazy. Like
So did they offer him more than what? I didn't think about that. They offered him more than what they offered Steph.
I don't know. I don't know. I know they've
Is he
offered
more
him.
important to their brand than Steph?
Um, you would say yes. I would say yes. Like I think. Well, I don't know
I
actually.
think
Commercially,
commercially, the female market's huge.
yeah, it's
Gabrielle's
interesting.
influence gets diluted across a lot of people.
But he's massive in
Brazil, how
Brazil.
many
Like,
wetsuits do they sell in Brazil? Yeah, yeah, but how big's the Brazilian um, revenue compared to the rest of the world?
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. And then, so it's interesting. It could also tell us more about his plans. Like,
Is he
maybe
is he is there any talk of him signing with someone else?
no,
Is he in a hurry?
and maybe he wants to come back and surf on the tour for one more year and then do something completely different. And he doesn't want to be tied down to a Ripco contract, which
Maybe he's
then,
got so much coin, which
yeah,
most probably does, that
he's
it
got
really
fuck
doesn't
loads.
matter. Like it's not one of those things where it's one of
No,
those other riders that are desperate to have a
exactly.
revenue because otherwise they're on the tools. He's not on the tools, is he?
No. And then
You're
what
not going to
about if
see him
we,
at a local supermarket like cashing your eggs.
what I think was weird though is at the same time Jackson Baker left or
Yeah,
got
well,
dropped.
Jacko got dropped
Because I was going to
off the
say,
tour. Can't re-qualify. Older, replaced by every, everyone younger. Yeah, that didn't surprise me at all. As much as I love Jackson Baker as a surfer and everything,
but it's
it's performance results based, isn't it? If you're not performing and you're on a 2, 3 year contract, you're out.
and it's funny, isn't it, that that's the case? Like, obviously, for us, the big news is Medina, but realistically, in terms of actual like impact, Gabriel Medina leaving Ripco doesn't impact Gabriel Medina at all.
Yeah.
Whereas Jackson Baker coming off of Ripco, fingers crossed it doesn't, and that another brand will come in and pick up Jackson Baker. But he needs sponsorship. Medina doesn't.
Well, if he doesn't qualify next year, well, he's not going to qualify this year anyway, is he? He's not going to qualify for 2027 because the qualifiers haven't been decided yet. That's not until
Um,
the last comp in Merriweather.
yeah, well, they've got two
They've
comps
still got
left,
Pipe
Pipe
and
and
Newcastle.
Newcastle. So
Now, I don't think he did this year because he was half injured. Did he?
he's done a couple. Like I remember him doing the Sakurama event, and but I remember him essentially being like first competition back and things like that. I don't think he's had any results to call home about. Um,
Well, let's cross our fingers for him and talk about the other one, which was Yago Dora.
yeah, Diego to Visla.
It's pretty sick.
Um,
See, in my head then, I was about to say Yago to O'Neill.
yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry,
it's
Fissler.
it's funny though with Visla is they've pretty much they've basically emptied a lot of people off their payroll to get Yago in.
Or it would seem as such. Maybe those
Well,
people were being offered anyway.
maybe,
How it
but
depends how long this deal was in process.
yeah. I mean, I
Is
don't
he a good
think.
is he a good move for Vissla? I think so.
Do you?
He
I'm not
kind of
sure.
fits for me. He kind of fits their ethos because they've never really had someone uh, like a world tour surfer, or did they?
Liam
Is
O'Brien,
Hushman still Vissla?
Liam O'Brien's Visla.
Yeah. But he's recent signing too, so they're pushing back towards it. He's an incredible. He's he's a pretty good surfer. Yago.
I mean, I think it's a smart signing because if he wants a year off tour, he's going to produce really good free surf edits. Whereas if Medina goes off of tour, like we were just talking about, you don't see anything of him.
Nah, and he could produce really good free surfing edits.
Yeah, I
Maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe it's another reason why we should just respecting Medina even more.
even more so. Yeah,
Like when he goes
but
on a surf trip, he just doesn't have to have all this filmers and everything. Oh God,
yeah,
that's exactly what you like.
but with the Yago move, I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's a clever move from them. Um, I I wonder if it goes bad, if it doesn't go as well commercially as they're hoping, and has that impact, then I reckon it could be really bad for Visla. Like, I reckon it could be like fucking like implosion type zones, but you never know. I mean, they make good suits, they make good boardies, they make good clothes. I mean, he's not often in a wetsuit, is he? Like, so we'll see.
It is a move. Time will tell. Time will tell. And Europe, William Alotti, Volcom, 15 years. Now
Yeah.
Billabong.
Yeah, I think this is insider trading news. I don't think it's actually been made fully confirmation of it being public yet, but William Elotti, Billabong, I think it's incredible move by the brand. I think it's a really good move from him. I think he's going to get a lot of support. I think they're going to support his Twin Fin Invitational and do loads of stuff like that. Is he
Yeah,
the
it
best free
kind of is
surfer in?
because I kind of feel like Volcom. I don't know how these things work. I'll get to the nitty-gritty of that hopefully over the next couple of months. But I'm assuming obviously his contract was up with Volcom. Now, was he shopping around? Did he feel like something was happening? Did someone said it to me last year that he didn't make good enough money with Volcom, but he was still making money, where there's a lot of
Yeah,
other people not. But he
I
created
think
such a niche for himself that kind of suits Billabong, doesn't he?
really does. And I think from the knowledge I have, when there was all that, basically when ABG and stuff was going on and loads of stuff was going on with Volcom, the whole team worldwide basically got sent an email saying we don't know what's happening. We'll keep you in the loop. And I think at that point, that was kind of common knowledge, like in the industry. And I think at that point, he got an offer from Billabong, which was essentially like, you know, if you want to come join us, this is what we'll do for you, and this is how much and all of that. Um, his contract technically wasn't up with Volcom at that point, but it was basically it got like slid under his door or whatever, and it obviously caught his eye. And I think from that point, it was almost like, right, I'll see the Volcom contract out.
Now they don't have a lot going on here. It's not really that big a thing. I mean, we see it on Stab, and you talk about it because you're into it. But his twin fin invitational's not really
Nah, it's
that big
low
an
key.
event. Yeah, yeah, it's super low key. But for Billabong, it's super strategic
Yeah,
because next year it will be in its third year. These things do build
yeah.
momentum, they build integrity. They don't have any other sort of event like that um, in the
Plus,
Southwest France.
Billabong have infrastructure there, and when you're talking about the Quicksilver Festival, you got to remember, and this is what they've done this year. Billabong made a big play for that because essentially it's board riders, right? At the end of the day,
Yep.
it's board riders. So, um, I think that I would imagine that Twin Fin Invitational next year is going to be a lot more um, kind of in the public eye as such than um, than it
Then
has been.
Volcom were allowed to put into it basically. So
Yeah,
there's gonna be a little bit more money thrown at it.
I think he's going to get a bit more help because I think with the Volk in the last 2 years, it's essentially been him arranging it, him doing it all, him kind of putting it all together,
Not really, because
or his team as such.
I'm pretty close friends with a guy from Volcom that actually did a fair bit
But
behind the
that's sorry,
scenes.
yeah, but that's Volcom Europe, right? Not like main Volcom. Where, but
Yeah,
who knows? I think it's a really smart move from Billabong, and I think it's a great fit for William. And it'll be really cool to, like when you look at the Billabong team and you think some of the trips that you could see him on with maybe like Sam Pitar and then say
Jay
A-
Glindemann,
yeah, Jai Glindemann, Eitan
Jai.
Osborne,
If they push him to go international, that is, which
boat trip.
fingers
I mean,
crossed.
he's always in Kandui. William Alotti's always in Kandui. So
He's sponsored by the villas there. Imagine
yeah,
sponsored free accommodation there for a month. So he really created a niche for himself, and certain surfers have been able to do that across the world. His twin fins are obviously so popular, and the way he surfs them is good. He was always a good free surfer. He's an aerialist, turned into a world tube rider.
yeah,
Oh, we did bring up that brand a fair bit because he left Volcom, Surfer of the Year, Volcom rider from Stab Surfer of the Year, not our Surfer of the Year, listeners.
yeah. You can't argue with
Would
it,
you
can you?
pretty
Like,
radical? That's is I like he doesn't listen to this, which is pretty funny. I nearly I was got send a screenshot of that to Bradley so he can show Belly. Um, because there's guys like Kadar Igarashi and Leo, and they don't even get a show in any of this sort of stuff. Rightly
but
so, wrongly so, from your point of view.
100% rightly so. I think when you look at like, say for example, Leo, where if it come this isn't true obviously because he loves surfing. Obviously, he loves surfing and stuff. But sometimes it comes across to me that most of the people that are on tour, if they weren't surfing to be on tour, would they be surfing? Like sometimes it comes across that they would rather be playing golf or doing other stuff. And I know that's not true, but it just comes
Or
across
wearing
that way.
fashion or jewelry. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
100% with you, Matty.
Whereas Noah's the complete opposite. Noah, like we said it on the last poddy, his output and the fact that he's underground and that you don't see him wearing jewelry or going playing golf and doing fashion things, you just see him surfing. Like, and it's really core and it's really cool. His boards haven't got like 20 million stickers on them. They've only got a few stickers. And his output this year has been absolutely mental.
Is that it's not even a question. That is what that generation wants to see. I mean,
Yeah.
what are his? what are his videos coming out? Hell barrels, massive airs, Hawaii.
Yep.
Huh? It's
And
not.
and
It's
waves
not
where you're
him
looking.
out at. It's not him out at macaronis, busting the fins on a 4 footer.
Yeah. And it's not him staying at, it's not him staying at some primo like resort as well, where like,
Or it's not him with his girlfriend telling you she loves spas
yeah.
and the whole world,
Um,
and pictures of their
because
it's pictures of him because he doesn't have a kid, pictures of him and his horse
yeah,
without a t-shirt on,
yeah.
galloping.
And like obviously there's certain people on tour that are coming back to tour, like John Florence, who every year you never question that guy just loves to fucking surf. Like,
Did you see? Did you see that little
yes,
clip of him at? I think the wave is called. I think it's rock bars that he's surfing. That right?
I think it is, yeah. Is that is I actually felt sorry for the wave. Like I kind of
So
was like,
good, isn't it?
is the his fins must scream. Like when he does that turn, that must be just his fins just must be like I just picture little cartoon faces on his fins just screaming their head off. Because he just yeah, fuck that
See,
guy.
I don't follow. Let's for example say I don't follow Kelly. I don't follow Gabrielle. I don't even know if I follow Steffi. Don't follow any of those crew because I just really know that I'm going to see it in mainstream media, which is how I used to look things back at the time. If they're big enough, you're going to see it in mainstream media. Any of the pros around here, I won't follow either because I just don't want to see where they're surfing or anything because it can toward your mind or anything. But 100% I'll follow John Florence because every now and then he puts up a clip like that, and it's actually what it is the top North Star 1% of surfing going on in the world, and
Yeah.
you can see it. It's just fucking blows your mind.
Yeah, like I know that there's loads of things going on, and I know that Noah Dean's just won the Stab Surfer of the Year and Yago's world champion and all of that. But realistically, he is the best surfer in the world by a distance.
Well, you
For
don't see Gabrielle, sorry, Gabrielle, you don't
yeah,
see him dropping two or three waves like that, do you?
no, no. The guy, and that's what I mean is you could just tell he just absolutely loves it as well. Like, and you just fair play to him. There was something I wanted to speak to you about. I haven't sent it to you, so I don't think you would have seen it because it isn't super mainstream, but it's been out a little while. It's called The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret.
Haven't seen it, but it sounds good. Sounds right up my alley.
It's by the guys on board, and it's four surfers, and I can't remember two of their names, but it's Tom Carroll.
I saw it.
Oh wait, yeah,
Sick.
Tom Carroll. No, three. I can't
Seen
remember one
everything.
guy's name. Tom Carroll, Aritz Arumbu,
Yep.
Oscar Langborn, and I can't remember the fourth guy's name.
It's fucking sick, isn't it?
It's so sick. And
Because it's
I've
kind
been,
of
yeah,
low key, like you
yeah.
said. Tom Carroll's older, so he ticks the older person's box. Great waves, explorer.
Can we just talk about Tom Carroll's fucking body? Like he's
Yeah.
standing
What
there,
a weapon.
topless, 8 pack that you could just like do you dry your washing on, ripped as, and he's just always happy. Like the stoke that how many new boards has he had in his life? And when he's unpacking that new board, the excitement you can tell that's going through his body by just because he's making weird noises. You can tell it's not fake. I was just
Hey,
like,
look,
this is sick.
let's try and get him on. Like I gave up on trying to get guests, but we will get some guests this year. Like
Of
obviously,
course
but
we
I
will.
know Tom. I'm friends with Tom. He used to come to the factory a fair bit. I picked him up once from the airport, and he'd just come off a trip from Indonesia, and he still told me the whole story about how some boat got stuck and they had to pull it up onto the beach and all this stuff. And like, he was a hero of for me, like for now
Yeah,
my whole generation. He won like back in the day before Stab took like over mainstream media. Trax was the Australian surfing magazine and the biggest thing in surfing, and he won like 10 years in a row
yeah,
because Charger, uh, incredible maneuver surfer, uh, great like persona, good speaker, man's man, woman's man, and
just
you
a
know,
good human.
just
And
unreal,
and
just
again,
like
like
that.
going back to what we said about John and like other people, it's like you could just tell he loves it, and that's all I want from someone is just be like you would get up and go and surf with mitts and gloves on like I do, like, and I know he would, even though he doesn't have to.
Well, he doesn't have to, but there you go. He's similar to Occy, for example. It's like a legacy surfer where Quicksilver still, who knows how much they pay him, but like he's
Yeah,
just been so integral to the brand that why would they now drop him?
yeah, it's the same as he
I
is
think he brings enough to the brand with his
100%.
meditation and everything else that
Well, yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, you just mentioned like Leo. Say for example, Leo. Tom Carroll's done more for Quicksilver this year than Leo's done for like outside of competitions. Like, what has Leo done for
well,
K-Way
he's
or
not with
for?
Quicksilver.
Also, I got a question that I need potentially we can't answer, but I keep seeing it happen where Leo is doing Instagram posts where he will tag Red Bull, Pirelli, gross, um, Bell, and Sharp Eye, but he never ever tags Bradley.
Because he's not riding his boards.
But what, completely off him now? Is he just he's a Sharp Eye team member?
Well, yeah, I guess let's get to the bottom of that one as well. But let's also try and ask Tommy on onto the potty or a couple of people like that because it's true exactly what you say. People frothing get you frothing to surf, and I in that last mega swell we had where I surfed for like 12 days in a row at a spot where a bunch of older guys surfed. Now, in the water, I'm telling you, there was at least 10 guys my age, fit as, charging and surfing good. Now, there is a big population around the world, my age, that are surfing, where before there wasn't.
Yeah,
And we were really lucky to be part of that generation, the end of the nonchalance decadence from the 90s and the people that got through who realized it was wrong, like myself and a couple of others, have really, really dedicated themselves to training and keeping fit. And that's why these people aren't really interested in the WSL or performance surfing, because there is enough good waves out there in the world when you're older. If you're surfing a good wave, you don't really care so much about the performance. So
no,
that's the beauty of guys like Tom and Noki, and that's why the brands keep them on, and that's why we love watching them surf.
yeah, and that's again like that's what it's like when you do watch competition surfing. Sometimes I watch J Bay. It does definitely makes me froth to go surf, but sometimes I watch Abu Dhabi or or grindy Sakurima, and I'm a bit like this is a bit boring, bit repetitive, and then you stick on like the Tom Carroll thing or a Torren thing or I sent you a link to William Erlotti. It's called Jungle Fever. Definitely recommend people watching that. Like whole different ball game. That will make you want to surf.
That is frothing. Well, thanks for speaking to me, Muddy.
Phew.
Um, let's work
2026.
on let's work on a few guests over the next month.
I want to speak to
And
Tom Moran.
yes, well, let's hit him up. I'll send him
Yep.
another message. You send him a message and have a fantastic 2026.
Let's go. Au revoir.
Let's go. Au revoir.